thought that Rotary was for older businessmen. I didn't even realise that girls were invited, when actually it's really exciting to find out that Rotary is for everybody, that it is for, you know, the social entrepreneur on the high street, for the people that are just starting up, you know, like I am.
Well, Rotary's goals have always been the same, working in the community, and these social enterprises are all about working in the community, so we should be working together in the community. It's very simple.
Rotary has changed my life by networking me in with other knowledgeable business professionals and taking on board my crazy and welcoming it as an entrepreneur.
This club is great for us because we now have a small person to consider who's welcome at meetings, and the club is seen to be flexible, that we can come along to whatever we need to. It just offers so many opportunities for helping in all kinds of different ways, and ways which I really want Matthew to benefit from.
We think it's important that children come along, and particularly as a parent, for them to learn that they should be giving back to their community to help make a difference.
I wanted to become a Rotarian because I wanted to promote that young people in Rotary can do more. Young people can be heavily involved, they can be enthusiastic, and they can be trusted in succeeding in pushing the Rotary further. And I want to help as many young people as well as adults in the community and help develop the community for it to be a better place.
Is it good fun? Yeah? Yeah. And what do you learn?
Helping other people and making them join the club.
Good work. Future membership and marketing chairman right here.
And welcome to the Rotary Club meeting of May 5th, 2021. It is my pleasure to introduce our president, Diva Alfaro.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Again, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to go ahead and get our meeting started off with Steve Scott with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please join me in honoring the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. I'd like to also send it over to Casey Cox for the invocation. Over to you, Casey.
Sorry about that. Let's pray. Almighty God, thank you. Praise you. We look to you for leadership. We look to you for guidance. We look to you for the way, the truth, and the life. Bring to us today a sense of hope. Bring to us today a reason to believe. Bring to us today a heart-set understanding that love can change the world, and love is put into action when it's real. So Lord, may we move with action today and make a difference. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Casey. So we'll go ahead and start off with introductions. My name is Diva Alfaro. I am the president of San Dimas Rotary. I've been a Rotarian for over 3 years, and I am a licensed loan officer. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Raymond Foster.
Hey, I'm controlling the Zoom board and not doing a very good job today. I'm the president-elect.
Thank you, Raymond. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Casey.
We like to fondly say that Raymond is the face of Rotary. We're not sure if that's getting us any points or bringing any new members in, but at the same time, it's a beautiful face. My name's Casey. My wife and I are health coaches. We lead to freedom. We help people find healthy habits that lift them to the place that they want to be, which is not stuck. So I'm the past president, been around the Rotary here in San Dimas for a little over 8 years and having a good time making things happen.
Thank you, Casey. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Craig.
Hi, everyone. I'm Craig Jung. I'm a dentist in San Dimas. I'm a 6-year Rotary member, past president, and current secretary.
Thank you, Craig. Steve?
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Scott. I am the current treasurer of the Rotary Club, also a past president, been a member of the club for about 11 years, and I am a State Farm agent in San Dimas.
Thank you, Steve. Derek?
Hello, my name's Derek Bapnew. I'm a teacher, also a school board member, and very new Rotary member. So it's great to be here and see all these happy, smiling faces.
Thank you, Derek. Carissa?
Hi, I'm Carissa Ferrari. I've been a part of the Rotary Club for about a month, and I'm in the insurance industry, specifically helping a lot of our clients with their employee wellness.
Thank you, Carissa. Let's see, I didn't miss anybody, so I'll go ahead. I have the pleasure of introducing our speaker for today. Elyse Severson is in prevention management at House of Ruth. She is passionate about youth voices being heard. The program that she's involved with focuses on educating youth so that they can feel confident with themselves and in their relationships. So I'll go ahead and pass it on to Elyse.
Thank you so much, Diva. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to be on Zoom. I was just telling the folks prior that, I'm over Zoom. I don't want to mistake that I want to be on Zoom, but I'm happy to be back at work. My daughter's been sick for the past few days. She's actually sleeping upstairs, thank God. But I haven't been able to work for the last week or so, so it's nice to be with you all. I've been at House of Ruth for the last almost 7 years now. And I used to prior do direct client services. So I used to work directly with survivors and do some counseling. But now I'm in prevention education. As Diva shared, I am really passionate about youth voices being heard. I feel like oftentimes we as adults can dismiss students and the struggles that they go through, not intentionally, but maybe because we aren't sure how to help them through their struggle, and especially with relationships. So we're just going to go over a few things about what the prevention program does, how we support youth through their relationships, through whatever journey, whatever they're struggling with. So I just want to share a little bit about that with you all. I want to kind of feel it out. I have both. I can share with you all just a few things that we do, or I can do a PowerPoint presentation. What are you all feeling? Are you like about
wherever you want to do, we're open for it.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I love how intimate the group is, so I think I'm just going to keep it real and share with you all without a PowerPoint. So we are a small department of 3, and we go out into the community and we share about prevention education. And so that looks like, if I could share my screen, I think either Raymond or Diva, would you give me permission to share the screen really quickly?
It should be on. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. We have quite a few different topics that we discuss with our teens. So what happens is we contact the teacher. So Derek, if this would be you, we would contact you and say, hey, are you interested in your students having some prevention education around these topics? And you would look at them and you would say, hey, yeah, maybe that sounds interesting. And then we would show up to your class, we would disseminate a survey, and the survey would allow the students to pick out 8 of these topics. And then we would come in for the next 8 weeks and discuss the topics that they've chosen. So we don't want to just show up into the class and be like, hey, this is what we're teaching. We want to build rapport with students, and part of that is giving them a little bit of control. And so we have them discuss these topics more in depth. So part of why we're meeting today is to discuss teen dating violence. And so that's one of the topics that they can discuss. They can pick any of these topics. And so they are pretty intense topics. Most topics do trigger students. And so we do have relationships with the on-school therapists who, if a student you know, is going through a lot and gets triggered by one of these topics, they can meet with them weekly. And so part of why we're meeting today, and thank you all so much again for donating to House of Ruth. I think it's a really trying time for a lot of folks right now. So any way that we can help survivors is extremely helpful, and we very much appreciate it. But you all found a purpose in House of Ruth, not only to help survivors, but also to prevent any violence from happening in the future. And that starts with our young folks, right? We want to teach them like how to be in a relationship, what is healthy, what is unhealthy, how to take care of themselves, how to nourish not only their body, but their minds and their confidence, so that they can go on and be a healthy partner in their relationship. And so we know statistically that right now, teens are not really showing signs of knowing what a healthy relationship is. So 1 in 3 students, 1 in 3 teens will be victimized by domestic violence. So that's quite alarming. But statistically, 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men, and 1 in 3 teens. So the teens are most likely to be victimized because they're, you know, we were all teens once. We were all in high school exploring relationships, and it's not like back then we ever got a talk from our parents or from school that said, hey, look, this is what we should be expecting in our relationship. This is what we should be looking for. So they're just kind of navigating that solo. They're trying to figure it out, and statistics show that, you know, they're struggling with it. So 1 in 3 teens will be victimized by domestic violence. And we do know that currently during COVID, even prior to COVID, but more so now, cyber stalking, cyber harassment, it has been at an all-time high for relationships, youth relationships. And so we're trying to really navigate that with youth right now. A lot of youth share with us that right now their perspective is if someone is jealous, if someone shares any form of jealousy by them talking to another person, that means that they love them. So they're showing that they care by being jealous. So we go in and we talk about what healthy jealousy looks like. It's all normal. It's okay to be jealous, but the way that we act on our jealousy becomes a problem if we do it violently or aggressively. So it's been really great to have like real conversation with youth. And, you know, sometimes it takes someone outside of their lives, whether that be us or a therapist, but outside of their common circle, their parents, their teachers, their friends, for them to open up to someone and really share what they're going through. And we know that most of the time, young women are being victimized the most. However, we have quite a few young men share with us as well that they're experiencing teen dating violence. And so when we go into the classroom, we share that, you know, anyone can be victimized by teen dating violence. You know, teen dating violence, domestic violence is all about power and control. And anyone can want that. Anyone can seek and desire power and control over another person. And so when we share that, we get a lot of students who feel heard, feel like, okay, maybe I'm not alone. And so we do get a lot of disclosures when we go onto high school campuses. It's, you know, it is tough to go in and see that many students are struggling in their relationships. But we do know that they are needing someone or a group of people to feel supported by. So part of that and part of why we're meeting today is not only to share a little bit about what the prevention program does, but also to have you all now be informed advocates of how to approach a student or how to any youth in your life who is struggling with their relationship, how to support them. And so part of that is to believe them. If they come up to you and say like, hey, Chris, I'm really struggling with my relationship. Like, I don't know what to do. Is this abusive? Is it not abusive? Ultimately, just believing them and saying, I'm sorry that you're going through that. How can I support you? And so oftentimes we as adults feel like we have the answer, that we have the solution. Well, you should break up with them. You shouldn't be with them. That's not safe for you. You need to leave. And all of those things, just like an adult survivor, all of those things speak control. You need, you should. Those are like control words. And so we want to give power back to the teen and say, how can I support you? So that they feel free to tell us how they need help. If we come at them and say, this is what you should do, you need to see a therapist, you need to see a counselor, you need to tell your parents, that's going to make them kind of go back into their shell, and then they're going to feel alone. And so that's not what we want to do. We want to open the floor and share with them, like, I'm here to help. How do you need me? And so sometimes that can mean, you know, waiting it out. Obviously, if the student is in imminent danger, we do need to step in. But if you can assess the situation as best as possible and share, I'm always here for you if you need to talk, and provide options. So that's the way that we like to address this, is provide options versus advice. So if you are really feeling like this student or this person, youth in your life, needs to leave this relationship, we can share options. Hey, so-and-so, I found this organization, House of Ruth. They can talk to you about what's going on in your relationship. If you would like, I can come with you, or I can call with you. Let me know what you need. So that they feel like we're not telling them exactly what to do. They have the option to do that. That'll open the door for them to feel a little more in control of the situation. And then also, something that I hear so much from adults, which is so normal and so real, but it oftentimes does more damage than it does good. For us to say something along the lines of, you know, you're 15 years old, you don't know what real love is, or it's, you know, you got to get over that, you got to break up with them, that's, you know, it's puppy love, kind of to diminish what they're going through, and really kind of just be dismissive of it, right? For them, 15, 16, 17 years old, this is all that they know. This is all the experience with relationships that they know. And so for someone to come in and say, that's not real love. I mean, you want someone to really love you. That for them, that is real love. For them, that is all that they know. So we want to come in from a different perspective and just say, hey, I know this relationship is extremely important to you. I can see that you truly love this person. It looks like it's unhealthy. It looks like you're not happy. You know, what would you like to do? What does happiness mean to you? And if they start listing things off like respect, trust, honesty, communication, then you have the space to say, well, do you feel like you're getting that from this relationship? And then they can come to the conclusion themselves. And it's all about that power and control, all about really letting them have a voice in their relationship. And so, you know, that's oftentimes what we see with teens. And also, teens just feel scared to talk to adults. They feel scared, they don't want to get in trouble. And so coming with a perspective of just having an open and real conversation with them is so important. I know that's really fast, but any questions so far? Derek, have you had any like experience with students sharing anything like this, or?
Oh, well, I work with middle school kids, so they share quite a bit sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I live in a land with very few filters. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, and I feel like middle school as well. I mean, I always, you know, in my perspective, feel like I just got lucky that I was never in an abusive relationship. I did have two serious, for me, relationships in high school, and so I didn't have a class that taught me about relationships. And although I saw, you know, a semi-healthy relationship in my home, no one really said, hey, Elyse, like this is, you know, these are the things that you should be looking for. You know, and if it's not that, make sure that you kind of weed out the ones that don't fit your sense of healthy. And so when we go in and talk about these things, students oftentimes are, you know, blown away of, wow, like that's not what my relationship looks like maybe I should reevaluate. And then it's kind of this new world for them, especially for some students who have not seen healthy relationships within their homes. It's a real conversation for them. And so, you know, and through working with House of Ruth, truly, if you know, domestic violence, I like live, breathe, eat domestic violence, because now once you know domestic violence and once you know what the definition of domestic violence is, you do see domestic violence truly everywhere. I go to the grocery store and sometimes I see a relationship that doesn't look healthy. And, you know, I have to really stop myself from approaching someone because sometimes that's not the safest for the survivor as well. And so when I'm at a school and I'm passing through passing period or walking through passing period, walking through lunch, like I get to assess all these relationships, and I can see that some of these students are hungry for this information. Some of them just want to know how to be in a good relationship because, you know, they've told themselves like, I'm not going to have a relationship like my parents, or I just want to be a healthy person so that I can be a healthy partner. And so the cool thing about the prevention program at House of Ruth is not only do we focus on relationships, we focus on self, because, you know, we all know that we have to make sure that we are healthy individuals before we navigate a relationship. So we talk about self-esteem, self-confidence. We discuss depression and anxiety and how to navigate, how to cope. We link them up with therapists on campus. So really we're just kind of this middle person to, and sometimes we end up being the person, but you know, oftentimes we become this middle person to help provide options for them. You're not alone. We see you. We understand that you need some support. Let's link up so we can help get you that support. So I
have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
If we were to think up and dream a partnership between House of Ruth and the Rotary, we have this amazing four-way test. And I'm just thinking about building confidence. Creating a place where we've got some good people in this circle, just real, everyday, down-to-earth people with different stories. What would it look? Would it be something that you would be interested in? We do a lot of leadership development. We do a lot of character development. We do a lot of life skill and connecting in the community to say, hey, this is what healthy people look like in the real. If we were to put together a 4-week training, if we were to put together something, whether we did it virtual or even on site with you, and say the Rotary and House of Ruth present life skills and healthy next steps, is that something that you would go, oh my gosh, could you do it? When can we do it? Is that something that we as the Rotary could get behind and put together a, you know, I just think out loud, but if any of the, especially the girls that have gone through this, look, if they go through this 4-week series, the Rotary is going to celebrate them by giving them X, you know, and so it's, hey, come to the class, but know that anybody that comes to all 4 weeks, you're going to get over and beyond what we teach. I'm just thinking, how do we do something that's not just, hey, we'll raise money, or hey, we'll do this.
Right. That's awesome, Casey. I think that that's a really good, just a good future project that we could be working on, because that would be great. I forgot to leave out, I forgot to mention that one of the biggest parts of the House of Ruth prevention team is that we we host and we manage a youth advisory committee. So we have a group of 15 young folks who are interested and passionate about creating change on their school campus. So these folks some of them have been in teen dating violence relationships, and that's why they're passionate about being in the group. Others are really just passionate about spreading awareness about teen dating violence. However, I'm thinking if you all could train them, maybe it could be like in some way, like a teach the trainer thing. They could go to their campus and be like, hey, this is what we learned about life skills. Let me teach my school or my fourth period English class or whatever it may be, you know? So we do meet with them once a month, the third Wednesday of every month. And maybe that could look like you all facilitating those meetings. They're an hour and a half long, but you all can present however long you need. And maybe it could be, like a life skills, or maybe even, I don't know if on the Rotary Club you will have someone who, like you said, like just real stories, like maybe you all can share some life experience that y'all have been through and then how you overcame that, how your life skills came into play, and you know, something like that. I know the Youth Advisory Committee is, we just try to promote realness, and we've all had life happen. We've all kind of made decisions that we're not proud of. We realize that, and now we're trying to work to be better every day. So we do try to promote that within the group. So just letting them know, like, hey, there are real people who have gone through life, and that's just what it is, you know? And sometimes we make decisions that aren't so helpful. So yeah, that would be really great, Casey. Maybe we can work together to try to think something up more concrete.
And just to piggyback on that, and not to go into my story too much, but I remember my upbringing had some hiccups like a lot of people's. Mm-hmm. And I remember not wanting to pass on the same dysfunction that I grew up with. Right. And one of the challenges for me was you could definitely know, hey, these patterns aren't helpful. And I think sometimes you focus on what not to do. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that really, I guess, helped me think differently was, in a sense, going from like regular psychology to positive psychology. Mm-hmm. Like, what is a good model? What are the things that are helpful? And I think those things sometimes can not only be aspirational, but help give people a model on how to better relate. So I really do like the idea Casey had, and your openness for the, I guess, us helping that group, your group.
Absolutely, that would be great. And I think that's such a great point, Derek, is we always focus on what not to do, right? That's kind of our go-to model is don't do this, don't do that, don't do X, Y, and Z. And we leave out the things that we should be doing and the things that we should be looking for. And that perspective can really change someone's decision, someone's life experience. And this is very intense, and excuse my example, but I think oftentimes, you know, teens, this is like some piece of examples that students have shared with me is, you know, when parents say, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, youth minds process, well, I'm going to do what I want to do and not what my parents want to tell me what to do. And so we as parents think, oh, if I tell them not to do this, they won't do it, or at least they have that in their heads. But if we just be open and honest with our students and our children, we have real connection and real conversations, then they can process differently. And so I think that's kind of what the same thing is we can just be real and have positive interactions and focus on that, then maybe they'll make different decisions. Yeah, thanks so much. But yeah, I would love to come up with something where we can partner, and really, the Youth Advisory Committee is more of a group who is, you know, they're in AP classes, they're above and beyond kind of students. But I think that anywhere, anytime, there's nothing more real and helpful than someone sharing a story and how they overcame, because then it's like a domino effect that these youth advisory committee members are kind of leaders on their campus. And if they can share and encourage and empower other students, then that's where our success is.
I wanted to say something that just on something that you said that I think as a parent, I had caught myself saying this before. You know, I'm a parent of a teenager. I also have a son that's that's an adult now. But one thing that I always remembered as a teenager that I really hated when people would, if I talked about a problem or something that was going on, and they, like you said, downplayed it, like, oh, this isn't real. Like, you're just a kid, you don't know. And what you said is so true. It's like, that's what they know and that's how they feel. And who am I to tell them you're not supposed to feel that way because it's not real? And that could be very detrimental to someone at that age.
Absolutely. It's like crushing their soul. You know, like, this person doesn't believe me, or this person, I don't know, this person just isn't for me, you know? And if that's your parent, goodness, like, that's sad, you know? And I understand, like, I'm a parent just to a 1-year-old, so I don't know quite what that is quite yet. But, you know, sometimes I do. She throws a tantrum and I can't just be like, Abby, you know, it's just a crayon, you know? I also now have to say, I'm sorry that you're frustrated, you know? They just want to be seen and heard. Mm-hmm. And once they do that, that's the first step. Just like teens, they want to feel seen and heard, and then you can move forward to problem solving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what the prevention program does with youth specifically. However, part of our role is to also educate our community as a whole. So, colleges, churches, we work a lot with the church, and it's been a really great journey with the church as well. You know, we've seen a lot of groups within the church. So we host some domestic violence groups within the church just to provide support. And that's been really great with hair salons, with a lot of different groups, and just to provide education. And all we would like is for the message of domestic violence to exist, you know, for folks to be having that conversation. Just like that saying goes, the more we know, the more that we can help, the better that we can service folks. So I know there wasn't a lot of time for this, so I just want to check in and make sure if anyone had any questions, or if we are wrapping it up.
Does anybody have any other questions? Well, I want to thank you for
questions. Sorry, Diva.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, social health and relationship health has definitely been tied in lately to company wellness programs. Mm-hmm. And I would just be curious, are your speakers and educators that come out and talk on this topic, do they have any form of like credentials or trainings? Just because a lot of HR teams usually ask that question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's myself and 2 other peers. And so, I mean, we do have someone, like, what kind of credentials? Like, we have someone, my peer has her law degree, and my other peer has her master's degree. So, I mean, I don't know if those qualify as credentials. We're all certified domestic violence advocates. And
I think that would be perfect. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, if any of you all outside of this group feel like your agency, your school, your church would benefit from a conversation like this, feel free to contact me. I coordinate all the presentations, so I'd be happy to do that for you. I'm just going to drop my information in the chat box very quickly.
Thank you so much, Elsie. That was a great presentation, and you know, I just definitely feel that, like how you said, it's better to do it authentically, you know, and I'm pretty sure that your speakers that go and speak to these groups, you know, when it's past experience, it usually gets across very well with someone that's hurting or going through what they went through. So.
Right. Yeah, thanks, Tina.
So for time's sake, we're going to go ahead and move it along. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. It was great to meet you all. If y'all have any questions, my information is in the chat. I'd be happy to connect with you, Casey, as well. I can reach out to Raymond to get your information, and maybe we can set something up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Take care. I'm going to log off, but enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye. So we'll go ahead and move over to the fines. That would be you, Casey.
All right, let's keep it brief and keep it fast. Make your fine high and your language short. Who wants to fine themselves today? You know the game. We're all regulars here.
I feel like you're willing and dealing.
That was really short. I think we can move on. Let's keep going.
Okay, I guess so.
Let's have more discussion. We're good.
Okay, so no fast craft talk. Thank you, Casey. Okay, so Action 360. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. We wouldn't have done what we did with this project. I mean, this is something that I hold very dear to my heart, and to be able to walk in and there was already 6 microwaves waiting for us. There was already a case of pots and pans and food and, all these things. I'm actually going to give you guys, so the total of just the value of the merchandise that we received was 500. Well, actually we received three big things of detergent after I did this tally. So I would say it was close to 500 or 5,900 of merchandise, and then cash. That's the only thing I didn't get a tally of. Do you know the tally of the cash, Raymond?
I do. Well, not including what was sent prior, because there was a total of 350 cents. Plus we committed 250, that's, and then I've got another 250 here to give to Steve. So right around $1,000 was raised in addition. So I would say, to say we read $7,000 would not be off the mark.
Yeah. So it was, honestly, I just want to thank everybody that, forwarded the information. I was very surprised a family friend, one of their parents got a women's church group involved. I just want to say thanks to a couple of people, you guys don't mind. Obviously, San Dimas Rotary, everybody that was there, and everybody obviously here that contributed and helped out. Rachel, and I'm going to probably butcher her last name, Bratacos, I don't know how to read, so I'm bad. But yeah, okay, from Harriman Realty, she contributed detergents. Suhei Pradera from Prominence Business and Wealth Management contributed a monetary amount. Nettie Wright, her women's church group Bible study from One and All contributed, I would say, actually, I could tell you exactly what she brought because I was very surprised. They brought 64 hand towels,
nice.
20, let's see, they brought 2 bath rugs, they brought 26 pillowcases, 8 fitted sheets, 4 packs of cooking utensils. I mean, her car was filled, and she has a mini SUV, so it was awesome. Obviously, the San Dimas Masonic Lodge for allowing us to collect there and store items there, as well as their contribution. The Arcadia Masonic Lodge, the volunteers, Darlene, my son Noah, my daughter Little Diva, Derek, Mike, Raymond, of course, because I couldn't have done it without him, Marianne, and Rhonda Beltran for for doing working with me and trying to get this together with the House of Ruth and of course ServPro, and also, Craig for helping me and dropping off the Easy Up. So everybody, I know, and I believe also Derek, your wife collected some items as well. So everybody, and if I miss somebody, I'm sorry, but with my heavy workload, I totally feel that if I wasn't so busy, I would have been able to double or maybe even triple what we did had I put more effort. I'm not saying that I didn't, but I felt like I could have. But I was very surprised on how the community came back and did what they did to help us out. So this was great. This was absolutely, I couldn't have asked for anything more. Like, thank you so much. It means so much to me. So now moving along, next is Making Spirits Bright.
Yes, that is we had our first meeting with that committee last night. The crux of that is to provide 100 Marine Corps enlisted families with Christmas gifts at the Marine Corps Base 29 Palms. We're working with the Diamond Bar Women's Club. We have a city councilman, Eric Weber, I believe is his name, is our community co-chair. And we have a pretty good fundraiser. Looks like we're, I think, 90% on the way to doing a charity hockey tournament with ice hockey veterans who play hockey. So we're going to fill a stadium of about 3,000 people. They need $15,000 to pull this off, and I think we can do that. As we move forward, we have the Masonic Lodge is committed to this. Obviously, the City Council is committed to us. Rotary is committed. So this will be one of the great service projects during my year, which will culminate in December. We'll have another committee meeting in June 9th. I'll put the link out. I hope that you can join us so we can move the ball forward, but it's going to be a good, big project. Bigger, it's going to be bigger than the 3 we've done already put together, and those were big. So we're going to have a good time. And then Crossroads is down here, Crossroads Incorporated. We had Sister Terry Dodge on a couple of weeks ago. The site visit is May 22nd, and that will be a hands-on painting and rehab of a new transitional housing location, which is in the city of Pomona. However, it sounds like a really good project. We've wanted to do a hands-on for a long time. I encourage everyone who can be there May 22nd on the site visit so we can figure out exactly what we can commit to labor-wise, and that's important.
Raymond, do you just want it to be Rotarians or extra volunteers painting?
Well, I think we'll put the call out for everyone. We got to figure out what we're going to do, and then how much money we're going to need to raise to do what we want to do, and then how many volunteers we're going to need to be able to do it in one day. What I'd like to do too is to make this some kind of I want to do this in August, but what I want to do is somehow do this like it's videotaped so that we can get a good half-hour short out of this project. What it looked like beforehand, people working, interviewing people. I don't know. I think it's a really good, somebody who's a short filmmaker, it would be an excellent little docu thing for them to do. And that's kind of in the back of our mind also. So, but it'll be in August. We don't know until the site visit what we're going to do.
Okay.
Hey, Raymond?
Yes.
So if we're going to do this, did you say with videotape?
I would like to see it videotaped, yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly. Sorry, you cut out for a moment.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem.
Because this is a hands-on thing and so many people are going to be involved, I think it's an excellent opportunity for a real half-hour before and after thing. Kind of like that one of those home repair shows or something. I think that
I have very basic editing skills, so I'm not promising anything excellent, but I can try to help with that.
Well, that'd be great. We have our videographer already. There we go.
Perfect.
See, now she doesn't even have to pick up a paintbrush. I think that was actually a good call on her part. As far as we have like 11 minutes, but as far as House of Ruth, there's a couple of things to think about. We already have things in place like RILA and TLC, and they might be our feeder from that council. And also, there is a thing, Satellite Rotary Club. I don't know why there couldn't be a Satellite Interact Club if they wanted to double down on that somehow. So as you move forward, Casey, in the conversations with her, there's lots of Rotary things in place, from student exchanges to all kinds of stuff that I don't know how it could be built out, but it sounds like it's really a good idea. That's all I have.
Thank you, Raymond. So just we have the calendar and just show it really quickly.
Yeah, I've got the calendar. Okay, so next week, this guy wanted to have a conversation, but that'll be John Napper, orchestrating high performance teams with extraordinary leadership. And I spoke with him yesterday for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Very interesting guy, a band director for 35 years in the Midwest, who's developed his own consulting thing. And then Haynes Family of Programs, and then Coral Reef Environments, the Trickster Cultural Center, Native American Veterans on June 2nd. And as you see this all the way through, we've got a mix of authors and speakers. This 3 Seconds in Munich, the controversial 1972 Olympic basketball game, sounds really interesting. And we are scheduled all the way through September 8th of this year. So, and with really good high quality speakers. Some of these will be creating events around because they're kinds of things that I think people are going to want to come and hear this person speak. So if you have ideas about that, please let me know. Any questions about the calendar?
Yeah, I have a question. How are we going to handle board meetings moving forward? I mean, today's the first Wednesday of the month, which would have normally been a board meeting. Are we just going to do the quarterly things that we've been doing? I apologize, what we've been calling them, I just forgot. But is that how we're going to handle that moving forward?
Perfect tying in, because the next thing I was going to say is I was actually scheduling it for next week. I think it's easier, well, for me, it's easier to do it outside of like say later in the day, like a 6 or 7 o'clock meeting. Those who that are on the board can join. If we can end it earlier, great. If not, we use the whole hour. It's just hard for me to be able to do an hour, like an hour for Rotary, for an actual meeting, and then do an extra 30 minutes to run by whatever our board meeting is, because some of our meetings tend to need for us to have a longer time than 30 minutes to go over the information.
Okay, perfect.
The tailgate on that, I will publish shortly, beginning in July. Board meetings, I'll schedule them out for an entire year. They will be 1 hour. We've got too much going on. We need an hour to discuss the mechanics of things, but they'll be scheduled so you can put them in your calendar. The quarterly club assemblies will still take place in lieu of the Rotary meetings. And my intention is in September, because we have one in June, that's going to be our 61st anniversary, which will be virtual. But the one we're going to have in September, I hope we have that in person. And so that will be our club assembly in the September-ish area, to do an in-person type luncheon event or maybe a dinner or something, so that we get together physically. But the club assemblies will occur quarterly next year.
Thank you, Raymond.
You're welcome.
So next, I'm just going to throw it out there. Next week, Thursday, we will have our board meeting. My apologies, my schedule just is not good this whole week for me to do it later in the day. But next week on Thursday at 5:30 to 6:30, those on the board that can make it, hopefully you can. I will.
Diva, can you push it to 6? Is that possible?
Yeah, I can push it to 6. So 6 to 7.
I just normally don't get home until then.
Okay, so 6 to 7 on Thursday. Those that can make it, please make it. Again, we'll go over, discuss it, a couple of things, and if we get out early, we get out early. If not, we'll use the whole hour. Okay. So next 4-way test. Is Mike on here?
No.
Okay. So who wants to do it? Should I do it?
Not anyone else, so I'm just going to read it to you.
Okay.
Things we say or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And I really appreciated Casey bringing it up in conjunction with the presentation of teen violence. Certainly, if you could get teenagers to begin to think in this way, they'd probably be on better paths.
Absolutely.
That's it.
All right, everybody. Well, we're 6 minutes early. Does anybody have anything to discuss before we leave? Nope. Thank you, everybody, again. Honestly, I was very happy with our project, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you guys next week.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.